Hello, everybody. What's going on? If you can hear me, just put a yay in the comments. Hey. We are live with one of our pop-up live streams. Yay. This is going to be one of many live streams. If you can hear me, just put a 1 in the chat. How are you all doing? Let me know in the comments how you are doing. All right. Okay, cool beans. So, I want to talk about learning today. Okay, my favorite topic. I know people don't get lit about learning, but I am one of the few people who get lit about learning. Okay. So, anywho, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so. And if you're watching on any other platform, please know that we are primarily looking at the engagement here on YouTube. Even though we can see everybody's comments across all other platforms, we will begin to start exclusively stream on YouTube. So if you're watching this anywhere else other than YouTube, just know that going in the future, our primary focus would be going live on YouTube unless it makes sense for us to go live in other places. And so today we're streaming this video out to multiple places. We did not send out any notifications like emails or text messages letting you know that we are live. So if you want to make sure that you never miss when we are live, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, but don't just subscribe, turn on post notifications. When you click on that little bell, you can decide, if you want to get all notifications or some notifications. If you click on like the highest level of getting notifications, then you will always get notified when I go live. And you don't necessarily have to be worried about like, oh, I missed something or whatever the case may be. Because you never know. I might be doing surprises, giveaways, all types of things. So you definitely want to make sure you are tuned in. Also, can y'all see my slide? Can you see the little pulsing book bundle situation? I'm trying out something new. Do y'all like that? Let me know in the comments if y'all like that. So I made this visual that you're seeing. Is really a video. It's a Canva picture that I turned into a video. Okay. And so I am talking over a looped video, right? So I'm looping the video in Ecamm and I am talking over the loop video. So yeah, y'all like this? Because if y'all like this, then I can get real jazzy with it. This is my first time talking over a looped video. So that's pretty cool, right? Okay, so I'm so excited y'all here. Like I've been loving growing my YouTube channel. It has been like so much fun. And I can see the growth, which is making me super excited about doubling down on it. If you don't know already, we decided in May of this year, May 2024, that we were going to go all in on YouTube. And that essentially means that every Wednesday, come hell or high water, you're going to get either a pre-recorded video uploaded and premiered or just uploaded, or I'm going to go live. Another thing we're going to do is off schedule is pop up and do these live streams. So yes, we're live today on a Tuesday, but guess what? We're going to be live tomorrow too. So just know that like we coming with that fire. All right. So if you're ready, put ready in the chat. Also, I just want to say thank y'all for, being loyal to the brand. If you've been here for a long time, if you are a client, meaning you are in the launch circle or you're in the mastermind, or if you ever bought our book bundles, or if you've ever purchased anything from the UnCloned brand, thank you. I truly appreciate you more than you know. And you all are the reason why we get to do these things, right? So thank you. All right, so let's get into it. I love learning. And I understand that learning is not something that everybody wants to do. Okay. Me personally, I love learning for so many reasons, but the primary reason I love learning is because learning has changed my life. And when I say learning, what I'm saying is I had to develop the skill of learning, right? Let me know if that makes sense, y'all. Just put a 1 in the comments if that makes sense. I love engagement. If y'all haven't noticed that about me, I love engagement. I love when you all interact in the comments. It lets me know that you are here. I do understand that if you're multitasking, you may not be able to engage in real time, but that just let me know if you all are tuned in. All right. So anywho, I really, for me personally, like learning has changed my life, and learning doesn't become a priority until you plateaued in life, right? So what do I mean by that? The first My first interaction with wanting to learn, or the desire to learn, was when I wanted to become a professional photographer. When I first saw that you could even make money taking professional pictures, I was like, dang, this is pretty freaking cool. And I remember asking the photographer at the time, hey, how did you do that? Can you teach me how to use the camera? Can you teach me, how you set up the lights? Can you teach me how you like blurred out the background? Like, how are you even making this thing a living? Of course, I'm just going on and on and on and on and on, right? And I'm asking all of these questions, and he's like, no, I'm not going to teach you. I'm not going to tell you. And this is and let me just be transparent. My first response was, why won't he teach me? How many of you all have felt like that before? Like, you see something cool and like you want to know how to do it, and you ask the person how to do it and they tell you no. Let me know if y'all ever experienced that. If you ever experienced that, put a 2 in the chat, right? Like that's just been me. So I was like, okay. So I personally have experienced that. And this was the first time that I was just like, I was really truly passionate about learning something that I did not know. And I was already that girl that came to school with those portable cameras, but this is when digital photography was like a big thing, where you had the digital SLR and you could like hook it up to your lights and like do all of these things, right? So for me, I personally wanted to be able to learn that, right? And so I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and go to the bookstore, right? I'm gonna go to the bookstore and figure this thing out. And I remember going to the bookstore, Barnes and Nobles, and I remember going to the wherever the section is where they carried the photography books and looking at all of the photography books, which moves me to my first point. You have to know what your learning style is. And if you're not a person who has made a habit out of learning, you may or may not know what that is yet, right? So for me, my first thought was, if you want to learn something, go find a book. I didn't even know about video courses yet. I didn't know about audio books at the time. Wasn't really a thing. And so I just remember going to the bookstore and looking at these huge encyclopedia looking books on photography, and they all looked complicated. And I was like, I don't have time for this. How many of you all have ever wanted to learn something fast? Put a 3 in the chat, right? Put a 3 in the chat if you've ever wanted to learn something really fast. And so that's where I was at the time. Like, I wanted to learn this photography thing pretty fast. And I went to the bookstore and I saw all of these different books. Some books looked like encyclopedias. Some books were like crazy big. And I was like, I ain't got time for this. And so I remember coming across a series of books by a professional photographer named Scott Kelby. And Scott Kelby had these digital photography books that were pretty unique at the time. And to this day, I've yet to see people continue to create books like this. But in the book, it had like a sample of the picture you want to take, exactly what to put your camera on, and why you would create a photo. In what scenarios would you create your photos like this? And that's how I self-taught myself photography, right? And I remember as I started to develop my photography career, I remember my photography career taking off and me becoming that go-to photographer, and we became competitors. The person I asked to help me, we ended up being competitors. And so this the thing that I want to this the point I want to drill home as we continue to go through this. You have to know that people are not obligated to tell you anything, whether that's free or paid. People are not obligated to tell you. And the reason why I say free or paid, because sometimes you're going to pay to be a part of something, and some stuff is just like, for instance, you can't go to McDonald's, even though you're going there to buy a burger and some fries, and be like, hey, cashier, can you tell me that secret to the Big Mac sauce? I mean, I know you're working on my burger and my fries, but can you tell me what y'all secret Big Mac sauce is? Go ahead and mess with your girl, right? Like, no, they're going to kick you out of there. Like, get out of here with that. So even though you pay for coaching, consulting, advising, or whatever, that does not entitle you to everything in that person's brain. It does not entitle you to all of their IP. It doesn't entitle you to any of that. And so the first thing you have to do is be clear on, what do you want to learn? Like, let me know in the comments, what is something you want to learn that you've been actively pursuing, or you haven't made the time to really sit down and make it a habit, right? And so um you want to get clear on what you want to learn. What in this season of your life, in this season in this season of entrepreneurship, what's that one thing you want to learn right now? So for me, my husband and I were currently learning options, right? That's in the finance space. They got nothing to do with building a funnel and teaching people how to make money, none of that, right? It's about us learning how to trade in the market, right? Which is pretty cool. It's interesting. And so we signed up for a course to learn. And as we signed up for a course to learn, and I'm gonna get to this on down the road, but we signed up for the program, and then we realized that when we got in the program, we wanted to unlock different levels of access, and we had to pay more money for that. But I'm gonna come on down the road on that in a minute. All right, so we'll come back to that. So let's put a pin in that. So you have to be clear on, what you want to learn. The second thing is you have to be clear on what your learning style is. There's only 3 ways to learn something, y'all. Okay, well, there's a few ways. It's more than 3 ways, but I'm gonna tell you the top ways that people learn. You're either going to learn on your own by reading a book. You're going to learn from a mentor, a coach, a consultant, hell, a friend, somebody who's going to have the time to sit down and teach you the thing, right? And then the last way you can learn is just self-taught. You got to figure it out, right? You figured out how to do it. And so when you think about that, you have to get clear on, what is my learning style? What is my learning style? For me, Audria Richmond, I personally love doing watching videos and audio and video, audio, video. But I'm also an avid book reader. And oftentimes when I'm reading a book, I'm quicker to buy a book if it has an audio book. And I have a hack. If the book doesn't have an Audible, I have learned how to turn the Kindle version of the book into an Audible. So yeah, if y'all want to know how to do that, let me know on down the road and I'll tell y'all. But there's that, right? So you want to know, do you like watching videos? Do you like listening to audio? Or do you like reading? And this is another thing. You got to get clear on how fast you want to learn this stuff. Like for me, I want to learn things fast. And sitting down and using my eyes to scroll across pages, that don't always work for me. I need the video. I need the audio. I need to be able to speed it up. When I'm listening to audiobooks, I'm listening to it on 2x, 2.5, maybe 3, depending on how slow the person is reading. So if I'm watching a YouTube video, I pretty much watch like 80% of my videos on 1.5, 2.0, 2.5. Pretty much every single video. And if I'm with someone, I keep it on normal. And if I'm not watching a video with someone, I always turn it on 2.0, 1.5, 2.0, so on and so forth, right? And so just keep in mind that you got to be clear on your learning style, because if you're going to create a habit out of it, you got to be crystal clear around why, how you like it, why you like it this way, so on and so forth, okay? Now, this is another one that you want to think about. Do you like learning one-on-one or in groups? That's important to know. When I first got started, let me go over this first and then I'll come back to that. If you are going to learn by yourself, it's cheaper, right? Let me tell you why. If you say, I want to learn how to, I'm trying to think of something random. Let's say you want to learn how to cook a cookie. Okay. I don't know why I thought about that, but nevertheless, let's say you want to learn how to cook a cookie, right? You could figure it out. You could, go on YouTube and look up some YouTube tutorials. You could type in how to make chocolate chip cookies on Google. You could go to the bookstore and figure it out. But guess what you're doing? You're DIYing it, right? You're figuring it out on your own. You don't have anyone that's like holding you by the hand and guiding you. which moves me to the next level. So like done with you is, hey, we're going to do this thing together. We're going to learn this thing together. Let me teach you. Let me hold you by the hand. Let me like help you navigate through this thing, right? And then the last way that you can get something done or to learn something is really not even learning. It's really passing off the learning. And this is where a lot of people love to learn. And honestly, I feel like this level of learning is kind of dangerous. When you give someone, when you tell somebody to just do it for you, you lose all rights to get the lesson. You lose all right to really truly understand how that works. Does this make sense what I'm saying, everybody? Like when you DIY, you kind of scattered. You don't really know. You think you're going in the right direction. You might figure it out. It may take you a quicker time or a shorter period of time. And then on the flip side, if you have someone coaching you and advising you and holding your hand and walking you through it, not only do you get the benefit of learning, but you also get the benefit of possibly bulletproofing the errors and removing the errors. And then when somebody do it for you, they're not teaching you. So let me give you an example. We teach people how to launch, right? That's our specialty. That's what we focus on. That's what we love. That's what we teach here at UnCloned Media, right? That's one of many things we teach, but for the most part, we primarily focus on launching, right? If you want to bring a product to market, if you want to sell more products and services, that's our primary focus, right? One thing you will realize about this strategy is that there's several ways that people can learn how to launch from us. They can come on my YouTube video and watch whatever videos I've ever created on launching. That's doing it by themselves. They can go to my website, uncloned.shop or unclonedbb.com and go and get my books, right? Go and get the UnCloned marketing book that teach you how to launch marketing campaigns. And that's them figuring it out on their own. Or they can join the launch circle and we already recorded the videos. We already recorded the checklist. We already created, all like an asset checklist. We already designed and created a whole planner that walk you through the process from beginning to end, right? And that's us doing it with the client. Done for you would be, hey, pay us, $10,000 to $15,000, and we're not only gonna just ideate, we're gonna create your offer, we're gonna create the assets, we're gonna set up the funnel, we're gonna set up the marketing, we're going to launch it and bring it to market. That's done for you, right? So when you're trying to learn something, every time you try to learn something without support, and let me say this, some people can learn without support. I'm one of those people. Like, I don't have to be in a lot of coaching programs. I don't need a lot of hand holding. If I say I want to learn something, I'm going to go learn it. But for some people, they have to be in groups to get the accountability, to get the support, to get, what they need from that. And when you get to a higher level in your business and you start outsourcing things and you start letting people do the work for you, you lose the opportunity to get the lesson and to learn it. Does that make sense, everybody? Put a 2 in the chat. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because when you are trying to decide on how you want to learn, if you learn one-on-one, just expect it to be a little bit more pricey because that person don't have leverage when they're sitting there with you one-on-one, holding your hand, teaching you. This is why when you went to school, if you went to a traditional public school, they don't really have a lot of one-on-one. It's one to many. You come to a class, you're in a class, and you're learning with a group. It's the same thing online. If you're in a group program, if you're in a Facebook group, if you're in a group mastermind, if you're in any type of group program, a lot of the times it's probably going to be the most affordable. And then if you want someone to do it for you, or if you want someone to slow down and do it with you one-on-one, it's going to be more expensive. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because as you continue to go down your learning journey, you continue to master this skill, it's important for you to know that when you realize how you like to learn, you have to be clear on that. So let's say that you want to learn how to create a marketing campaign, as an example. And you decide that I joined the group, but the group, I don't get to talk directly to Audria. Audria don't look at my campaign. I can't tell Audria to read my emails and make sure I did it right. I can't get Audria to look at my offers and blah, blah, blah. You can. by joining and subscribing, signing up for a VIP day. A VIP day with me starts at $25,000. And so the Launch Circle is way more affordable. It's $497. And so if you want one-on-one, you have to know certain experts, it will be more expensive. If this makes sense, put a 2 in the chat. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because once you identify how you like to learn, you can now see that when you want hand holding, when you want one-on-one support, when you want someone to look at your things and give you feedback and tell you what you're doing wrong and all of those things, you can then see why it's more expensive as you get into one-on-one environments and one-on-one situations versus when you're in a group. I hope this makes sense. And DIY is, for the most part, is typically very inexpensive, right? Because it's very like inexpensive because it's like you can go to the bookstore and get a book for like $20 or $30, right? And learn what you need to learn. But you also have to be disciplined enough to get up every day and read the book. You got to be disciplined enough to continue and finish the book. So that's something to keep in mind. You got to be clear on, are you a one-on-one person or if you are a group person? All right. All right. And the reason I'm saying that is more people are getting away from one-on-one and they like the idea of being able to coach people one to many, right? Because it just creates more time. It creates more leverage. Right now, I'm recording this live stream. I'm live with you all right now in real time, and I'm talking to multiple people across the globe in real time. I'm leveraging my time. If if you all say, hey, Audria, teach me how to be a better learner one-on-one, trust me, it's going to cost you more than just subscribing to a YouTube channel or popping up and being available to listen to what I'm saying. So when you are on your learning journey, you have to be very clear around, how do I like to learn? Do you like to learn one-on-one or do you like to learn one-to-many? Keep that in mind. All right. The next thing is, you have to make sure that you discipline yourself by creating the time that it takes to learn. You can't say, I want to learn how to make $10,000 a month, but then you see a course that's 10 hours and get mad that it's 10 hours. Right? I've seen that happen plenty of times. I remember I had a client back home in Memphis who joined my membership at the time, and she was like, oh, I want to learn how to market my business and this, that, and the third. And I noticed that she hadn't logged in, and I was like, why you didn't log in? And she was like, well, I really don't have time to watch those videos. But you got time to be broke. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So you have to make sure that you, one, are definite about what it is that you say you want to learn. And then once you decide that you want to learn that, you got to be dedicated to your investment. You have to be dedicated and disciplined enough to show up and say, I am going to learn. I am going to do what it takes. I am going to show up for myself and make sure that I get what I need from this. If this makes sense, everybody, put a 1 in the chat. All right. Okay. So you got to develop the discipline to do that, right? And this is how you have to look at it, right? You have to treat learning like any habit, just like you would a workout habit. So if you say, I work out every single day and so on and so forth, it's literally the exact same thing for learning. So let me give you an example of how I do learning every single day, right? So I watch a video, listen to an audiobook, or watch some part of a course every day. Right? If you know any of my friends, they will tell you this. If you pull my husband to the side one day and ask him, he will tell you this. And if you're my client, like if you're in a mastermind or something like that, and they ask me like, hey coach, what you learning, blah, blah, blah. I always have books, videos, audiobooks, something that I have consumed that I can pass down to my clients. Right? And so one thing you have to think about when you're thinking about, again, how you like to learn, me personally, I have forced myself to learn all modalities. If what I'm trying to learn in a book, well, damn it, I got to read the book. If what I want to learn is only in video, well, I'm going to watch the video. If what I want to learn is only audio, I'm going to learn it that way. I am not going to dismiss an opportunity to learn something because I don't like the modality. Now, some modalities, y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? Y'all know some learning styles are going to be easier than others. Like, oh, I'm an audio person, I'm a video person, I'm a written person, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you still got to be committed to the goal. What is the goal? Right? And so if it's a holiday, right? Do I learn on holidays? Yes, but it may be something that's a little bit more passive. And these are some parameters that I have when I'm trying to learn. The first thing is I only learn from people who have experience with what I want to do. I don't waste my time trying to learn from people who aren't consistent or deem themselves as knowledgeable. I don't like learning from people who aren't confident. If you don't think you're the best, I don't either. I'm not even gonna waste my time trying to get you to convince me that you're the one. And I think it's important that the people you learn from have the experience. They have the scars. They have the stripes. They have the L's. They've taken the L's and they could tell you what those L's were like. Like, man, I lost $1 million, or man, I lost $100,000, or like, man, I messed up that contract, or whatever the case may be. You need to be able to, learn from people who have the experience, who've been there before you. Okay. And then the next thing you want to do is, like, how do you know what you want to learn, right? Again, what you want to learn is directly tied to your goals and objectives. What are your goals and objectives? And this is something that I learned from like E.T. Hip Hop, the preacher, Eric Thomas. He talked a lot about reading based on where you are. Like, you shouldn't be reading books on stuff that you're not even focused on. So whatever you focused on or whatever you're trying to master, that's the content you consume. That's the program you join. Those the books that you read. You should not be consuming random content that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Right? I see that happen a lot. People will pick something random to learn and it is out of alignment with their goal. You want to make sure that whatever you're learning is in direct alignment with your goal. Okay? And then another way you want to think through what to learn is, what skills am I lacking, right? If you know that you need to run ads to grow your business, then learn ads, learn advertising. If you know that you're not really good on camera or you don't want to be on camera, then maybe you need to watch some videos about how to be more confident on video. If you don't like the way your voice sounds, or if you don't like the way you communicate or pronounce words, then maybe you should watch some videos on YouTube around how to master, learning and communication and pronunciation and all of those things. You all are very clear on what you don't know, right or wrong. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you are crystal clear on what you know and what you don't know. Because oftentimes I see a lot of people get caught up in, trying to be dishonest with themselves, right? Like, I feel really confident doing these audio newsletters, but I don't feel confident narrating my own books. I know that sounds hella goofy, but that's me telling the God honest truth, right? I love talking off the hip. I love having notes. Don't put a teleprompter in front of me. I will jack it up. So I just want you to know, like, you got to be clear with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. All right. And then this is the next thing. This is the last thing I'll say. And then if you have any questions, you can go ahead and start putting those in the chat. And if you all don't have any questions, we will end the live stream. All right. So this is what I'll say. When I'm very passionate about a topic, I look for a book, course, audiobook, and YouTube video on the topic. If I want to reach mastery levels with it, I will invest in coaching, consulting, so I can ask my questions. Let me say this again, okay? Let me say this again. When I'm passionate about a topic, passionate means I got to learn this. I got to learn this. I got to learn this. I got to master this. I got to figure this out. Like, when I'm passionate, right? When I'm passionate about a topic, I will, I look for a book, a course, an audio book, and YouTube video on a topic. I will also start studying and finding out who got the most experience, who is the guru, who wrote the book on this topic, who is owning this, who has a YouTube channel with videos already loaded on this topic, who can help me. Who can help me while I help me? So that's the first thing I do. And another thing I do, sometimes if I want a community aspect to what I'm trying to learn, I'll look for a Facebook group or some type of community or group that I can subscribe to. And so But when I'm ready to reach mastery level mean I want to make sure I want to make sure I'm doing it right, like the right way. I will invest in coaching and consulting so I can ask my questions. Prime example of this was by the time I hired my certification mentor, I had already bought plenty of books on Amazon. I had already started watching some videos. There weren't a lot of videos on it, but the few videos I did find on certification, I started watching those videos. I started to look for like audiobooks, just all type of content. And I found one expert that had everything I needed. This expert had a YouTube channel with videos on the topic. This expert had an entire course around how to create a certification program. This particular coach, an expert, had a way for me to get on the phone with them and consult with them and talk with them about what it is that I had going on. And it checked all the boxes for me. I'm ready to reach mastery level, ma'am. Where's your coaching program? Okay, great. Here's how much is it? Great. Let me send you the money. Some of you all want to master things and you don't want to spend the money for it. And that's cool. When you're learning things on your own and you don't have a way of validating if it's legit, you don't have a way of knowing for sure if you are learning the right things from the right person, you know, when you out here willy-nilly DIYing it, you can. But there's going to come a time where you ain't got time to watch 40 YouTube videos and listen to 20 audiobooks and read 15 books on the topic. Some of you all are pressed for time because of age. Some of you all are pressed for time, hell, because you don't have the time. Some of you all are pressed because your situation, you know, you're in a dire situation, like you're about to hit rock bottom. And some of you all will waste your time because you don't want to spend the money. You will waste your time because you don't want to buy the course. You will waste your time because you don't want to read the book. You will waste your time because you don't want to take the course. You don't want to sit through the course. You will waste your time because you don't come to the calls and you don't raise your hand and you don't ask questions. And so if you're going to be a super learner, you have to get in the habit of learning. You have to love learning. Okay? So anywho, if you enjoyed this, let me know your biggest takeaway inside of the comments. And I will read and answer any questions that we have. And then we will conclude with this pop-up live stream. Also, if you are enjoying this live stream, make sure you like the video. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on post notifications. This won't be the last time that we do a pop-up live. I'm going to start doing these pop-up live streams. Hell, I don't know. I've been feeling real excited lately, so I may do another one today. I don't know. But I don't necessarily want to spend a lot of, I don't want to spend all of those credits that it costs me every time that I want to go live. I might want to go live 4 times a day, 5 times a day. You never know. But with that being said, if you like this content, if you like this style of content, if you like the pop-up content, if you like being able to ask questions and so on and so forth, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on post notifications so you can be notified the next time I am live. All right. So I have a question, and the question is, how do you get caught up in learning, but you're not executing? How do you not get caught up in learning, but you're not executing? You have to set first off, that's a great question. And what I like to do is we can overlearn. That is a thing. You can get to the point where you overlearn. So let me give you an example. My husband and I, we bought a course on options, right? And there's really it's not a course. It's kind of like a mentorship group chat situation or whatnot. And so one of the things I noticed was we signed up for the course. And as soon as we signed up for the course, there was another person like the following day had a sale to buy their course on options, right? Now we had just bought this other course on options. And my husband and I, we like both people that's teaching it. And we were like, ooh, should we get this course too? Right? How many of y'all are guilty of that? You already bought a course on something. You already found you a mentor. You already found the person you love and you gave your money to and you want to learn from. But for some reason, For some reason, okay, you have to go on a binge investment spree and you start buying up the block. So we was like, nah, we're not gonna sign up for this next course. So we're gonna go all in on this course. We're gonna show up on the Zoom calls. We're gonna ask our questions. And once we feel confident, and that can be an illusion, let me also say that too. Because sometimes you're gonna have to show up and do it when you uncomfortable. Sometimes you're gonna have to show up and do it when it don't feel good. And so we decided that, like, okay, you know what? We are going to study from this one person. And once we feel confident to execute them, spend the money and do the trade or whatnot, we're going to do that, right? So the way you get to execution is the program that you signed up for should have some indication that you're done. Like if you went through an entire course and you're consumed the course, it's time to execute, right? If you taking your time going through the course, that's on you. If it's a 6-week course and you got lifetime access and you taking 12 months to take it, come on now. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's another thing that'll get you executing is like what you going through right now. For some of y'all, life is grand. It ain't urgent, And so the more urgent it is, the quicker you're going to learn and the quicker you're going to execute. So I do believe that sometimes when we're comfortable, we don't execute, we don't take the action, we don't do what we need to do. But what I will also say though, you have to make sure that you make the time to execute as quick as you know the fundamentals and the foundational things, right? And just break through the fear, to be honest. So I don't know if that was the best answer for you, but like I said on one of my pop-up live streams, I said, hey, I was in a season of my life where I was too broke to even think about what I was so broke I couldn't even think about fear. And so that's why I said some of y'all are too comfortable. Life is too good. Because when life is too good, you don't go and take action. You know what I mean? And so for some people it's urgent. For some people it's optional. For some people it's a hobby. For some people it's a side hustle. And so you get to determine the urgentness by your level of commitment and your definitive purpose, right? If you feel like this is truly your God's gift and it's your purpose and it's your duty to do this work, then you will do whatever it takes to show up, right? So anyway, I answered that question. Doesn't look like we have any more questions. I appreciate all of you all for showing up to this live stream and tapping in and engaging and leaving comments. And as always, y'all, what are we going to do? We're going to go live an uncloned life and do what? What are we doing? Build an uncloned brand.